Your kid just bombed a math test, forgot their lunch, burnt the pancakes, and your instincts screaming, rescue, fix, save the day. But what if the hardest thing to do is actually the most important? Because the truth is, every time we jump in, we're accidentally saying, you can't handle this. But when we let them stumble in safe, low-stakes ways, they build the muscle we can't give them, resilience. This isn't about being heartless. It's about being smart. In this video, I'll show you why letting your kid fail might be the best parenting move you'll ever make, and how to do it without scarring them or yourself. Why failure builds resilience. Think about how toddlers learn to walk. They fall, they wobble, they faceplant over and over, like drunk penguins on a trampoline, and then they pop right back up like, nailed it. And not once do they say, walking's not for me, Mom. Just carry me for the next 80 years. I'll be the first person to Uber my way through life. Falling is the system. It's how they build balance, coordination, and courage. If you held them up for every step, they'd never learn to walk on their own. This is true for every skill they'll ever learn. Tying shoelaces, making friends, driving a car. Psychologist Carol Dweck calls it the growth mindset. Neurologists call it error-based learning. But the takeaway? Our brains wire stronger after mistakes, not success. And yet, most of us can handle a toddler falling on a carpet. It's expected. But fast forward 10 years to a failed test, a missed goal, or a forgotten line in the school play, and suddenly it feels like a crisis. And you're now Googling how to erase disappointment from a child's soul at 2 a.m. So we jump in, we tutor, we email, we fix. But here's the punch in the gut. Every time we rescue, we quietly send the message, you can't handle this without me. And that message rewires them too. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's the soil success grows in. And we're the nervous gardeners yanking it up every 5 minutes to check. Coming up, the sneaky reason rescuing your kid might not be for their benefit, but yours. Okay, quick Sticko favor before we wobble into the next section. 97% of viewers don't subscribe. Like kids refusing to hold the handlebars until they crash. Be the balanced one. Quick tap on subscribe. Let's wobble forward. Chapter 2. Why rescuing backfires. So, what happens when we can't stand to see our kids fail? We rescue. You've heard of helicopter parenting, right? Constant hovering. Well, there's a newer one, snowplow parenting, clearing every obstacle before your kid even notices it. Like a parenting Zamboni, smoothing out life while humming the Frozen soundtrack. Sounds loving, but long-term, it creates fragile kids, ones who panic the second life doesn't go their way. Psychologist 𝐻𝐵 calls it the blessing of a skinned knee. Little hurts teach big lessons. The Lego you stepped on at 3 a.m.? That was resilience training. You're welcome. Ever seen a school science fair? Some kids have baking soda volcanoes. Then there's the one with dry ice, LED lights, and a working power grid. The kid next to it, blinking like, I thought this was a bake sale. That kid didn't learn science. They learned someone else will step in. And that sticks. Fast forward 15 years, they're at work with a tough project, and their first move is to Google how to fake food poisoning. Overprotection, it doesn't raise strong kids. It raises fragile ones. And rescuing, usually it's for us. Their forgotten homework feels like our failure. Their missed goal, our reputation, because heaven forbid Jenny's mom finds out your kid forgot their water bottle again. But parenting isn't about curating your image. It's about preparing your child for reality. So, how do you actually let them fail without feeling like a monster or making things worse? Chapter 3. How to actually let kids fail safely. So, how do you let your kids fail without feeling like a monster? Every part of you will scream, fix it, make the sad face go away. That's biology. When your kid struggles, your brain lights up like it's under attack. Tight chest, pit in stomach. That inner voice shouting, you're a terrible parent if you let this happen. But here's what neuroscientist Jill Bolte Taylor discovered. Those stress chemicals, they flush out in 90 seconds unless we keep reliving the drama in our heads like it's a Netflix series on loop. So the hardest part of letting kids fail isn't about them. It's about sitting with our own discomfort. without flinching, without fixing, without driving a forgotten lunch to school like it's a medical emergency. I've been there. My son forgot his lunch, and my brain instantly wrote a disaster movie. Starving in math class, a parent's guilt trip. I pictured him shrinking into nothingness, silently resenting me for eternity. But in reality, he was just hungry, and hunger is survivable. So I waited 90 seconds, then longer. He survived, and shockingly, he never forgot his lunch again. That's the trick. Start with safe, small failures, the kind that sting but don't scar. Forgot homework? Let it sting. Burnt dinner? Let him eat it. Lost the board game? No rematch. Then talk it through with him. What went wrong? What could you try next time? What did you notice about how you felt? That's where the learning happens. Not in the rescue, in the reflection. And here's the part most parents miss, where the real danger creeps in. If you protect your kid from every little failure now, the first big failure they face could flatten them. Would you rather they learn resilience from burning a grilled cheese or from getting fired because they never learned how to cope? Small failures are like vaccines. They build immunity for the real world. Of course, this isn't about throwing them into the deep end without floaties. Letting kids fail doesn't mean letting them drown. It means letting them swim out a little further while you watch, like a lifeguard with snacks. Think of resilience like weightlifting. If the bar's too light, they never grow. If it's too heavy, they get crushed. Your job? Spot them. Let them struggle. Wobble. Push. Just be close enough to catch them if it all comes crashing down. And don't forget the magic ingredient, humor. Because kids fail in absolutely spectacular ways. They'll wear their shirt backwards to school and defend it as a vibe. They'll make pancakes that are somehow raw and burnt. They'll lose at Monopoly and act like they've been legally disowned. If you can laugh with them, kindly, not cruelly, you turn failure from tragedy into comedy. And when failure feels funny instead of fatal, kids stop fearing it. That's the secret. Small failures, safe place, gentle reflection, and the strength to sit with your own panic without hitting the rescue button. Because when you let them wobble on their own legs, you're not being cruel. You're being a wise parent raising a strong human. So, what kind of home actually builds resilience without breaking your kid in the process? Chapter 4, Overcoming the Embarrassment Factor. Here's the sneaky reason a lot of parents can't let their kids fail. Embarrassment. Not the kids. Ours. Your child forgets their backpack, and suddenly you're imagining the teacher judging you like, yes, the cereal for dinner family, probably late on their library books too. It's not about the backpack. It's about how their mess makes you feel exposed, that someone will see your kid stumble and silently hand you the worst parent award. Psychologists call this the spotlight effect. It's the idea that we think everyone's watching, when they're really not. In one study, Cornell researchers made students wear super embarrassing t-shirts to class. The wearers thought everyone was staring. In reality, hardly anyone even noticed. Most were probably too busy worrying about their own awkward t-shirts. It's the same with parenting. You think the world's judging your kid's forgotten backpack, late homework, or mismatched socks. But truthfully, most people are too busy wondering if their kid brushed their teeth this morning. And even if someone does notice, so what? Your child's resilience matters way more than a random parent's opinion at pickup. You're not raising your kid to impress strangers. You're raising them to handle life. Let them stumble. Let them forget. Let your parenting be real, not perfect. Chapter 5, Building a Home Where Failure is Safe. So, how do you create a home where failure isn't something to fear, but something to learn from? Start by modeling it. Let your kids see you mess up and bounce back. Burn dinner. Forget the Wi-Fi password again. Then laugh about it and try again. Show them adults fail too, and nobody dies. Then turn it into a ritual. At dinner, skip the usual "what went well today" and try "what's one thing you failed at today and what did you learn?" And here's the surprisingly fun part. The more you normalize failure, the more your kid will start to enjoy learning from it. Because kids will fail in absolutely ridiculous ways. They'll wear pajamas to school picture day. They'll clean their room by shoving everything under the bed until it qualifies as a future excavation site. If you don't laugh, you'll cry. and always end with laughter. Even if your kid just made nachos out of toothpaste and Lego, I let my kids fail on purpose because life doesn't let you phone a parent when your boss is mad. Failure now builds grit later. It won't feel like it in a moment, but one day they'll thank you for letting them bomb that math test. So next time your kids forget their lunch or serves you culinary war crimes, pause and let it happen. That meltdown might be the best parenting gift you ever gave.